A windowsill, he'll say one day you caused his will to weaken with your love.
Peat Smoked Porter from Northern Brewer. A couple gallons of spring water. Got a couple strainers. 5-gallon bucket. Come over here. Pan with a little bit of water in it. We're just going to heat that up a little bit. That'll be used to soften the malt extract, liquid malt extract, in the 3-gallon stainless steel. And of course, stirring paddle. So first thing we're going to do is put the water into the stainless pot and get her cranked up. Get it boiling, and then we'll start adding ingredients. Beneath the bridge that they are building on, comes to you, he never was a stranger. And you say, okay, the bridge or someplace later. Dealer, he was watching for the card that is so high and wild, he'll never need to deal another. He was just an angel. Alright. Oh, the malt syrup. That's a grain bag. Funny pair of pantyhose or something. Alright, right here we have warming up the liquid malt extract. It's dark, 100% barley. And you see, take the cap off so you don't have an explosion, but it's very sticky. So you want to make sure it gets nice and warm, but don't make it so hot that you melt the container. That would turn into a disaster. Okay, we're going to take the grains and put them into the grain bag here. Whoops. Shit. Well, now we got a problem. Okay, now that I've averted that disaster by straining the water, getting all the bigger portions of grain out here, and start the steeping process. Grain into it. It's okay if there's a couple chunks in there. Usually just pull this around. And here's what we're looking at. Yeah, go ahead and steep this for about 20 minutes and keep it warm, and bring it up to about 170 and pull it out. Okay, I've turned the heat down so I get all the sugars in. I'm going to go with the Brie dry malt extract first. I like to put it in a bowl because, see, if you try to dump it out of the bag and picks the steam up really quick like that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and stir this up and break up any chunks. I like to try to help it along. It's dissolving fairly well. Warmed up liquid extract. Very thick. The reason, this is why we turn the heat off. It can be hard to stir and get all this out of the jug at the same time. Thick like tar. Actually smells very good. I like to take some hot water and put in here to help get as much of that LME out as possible. Still almost impossible to get all of it out. Heat back up. Bring this to a boil and get some hops in there. So I've got 2 ounces of the cluster hops. Set the timer, and there we go. Keep this stirring so none of that sugar scorches on the bottom of the pan. We return it to a boil. I'll give you a look here what we got going on. Foaming on top, and notice how those hops all expanded already, soaking up that water. Keep stirring. What I did, you want to cool the wort as quickly as possible after you get all the ingredients and about a 60-minute boil, hops and everything. You want to quickly cool it down. I've taken 3 gallons of spring water and put it in the deep freeze just until it starts to form ice, and that'll help me cool it off real fast since I do not have a wort chiller. Chill it you want to make sure all your equipment is sanitized from here on out. We're going to take everything that we're going to use. I've already made some solution. We're going to take the hydrometer, airlock, strainers, primary fermenter bucket, and we're going to put it in some one step that I already have pre-made out in the garage. A little bit to get to that point. Yeah, this is a one step no rinse cleaner. Very important to sanitize. Remember, sanitize, don't sterilize. I don't recommend bleach, although I've heard a lot of people use it. I don't like the idea. Figure if you're using bleach, you might as well use city water, which is pretty rancid if you ask me. Okay, got a nice rolling boil. Alarm just went off for, just open the bag, drop them in. And dab it in there. That's all there is to it. Couple more minutes and we will be okay. At this point we're going to take the wort, it's about 185 degrees or so, and try to see how fast we can get it down to. And I've already put the ice water in here. I'm going to double strain it to try to get the hops out. You gotta watch it, drop that one in. Okay, and here we go. Try to cool this down as quick as we can. And this also will help aerate it a little bit since we boiled all the oxygen out of it, and yeast will need the oxygen in order to ferment properly. Alright. Okay, so at this point the wort is cool. I have sanitized the paddle and the thermometer. I'm going to go ahead and place the paddle in there and grab the thermometer and double check the temperature. The thermometer as of right now says about 70 degrees. It's been sitting in the one step solution. Give it another second or two to make sure that's exactly where we are. I'm going to take the lid, it's sanitized, so I don't want to really get it around too much other stuff. And what we're going to do at this point is aerate. And see that nifty paddle I have. I do not own an aerator, so if you don't own one, you can just sit here and do this for a little bit. Paddle, paddle, paddle. I'm sure you saw the commercial. Row, row, row. Such an easy word. You do not want to splash this around because it is extremely sticky and very, very sweet. The sweetness and sugars, that's exactly what the yeast is going to devour, and that will turn into carbon dioxide and also alcohol is another byproduct. I don't know why you'd want that in your beer, but most people prefer it. We'll just aerate for a little bit and I'll see you in a few minutes. Reading with our hydrometer the original gravity. This is very important so that you're able to tell exactly when fermentation is finished, and also the alcohol content. You should be able to get a pretty good gauge on how strong your beer is. Just give it a spin to shake off any bubbles and other items. Holy macaroni, that looks a little strong. That's good though. As long as the yeast can eat it, all the sugar, we're good. Finish about a 1.054. 1.054. At this point, we're going to take the US-05 Safe Valley yeast and just sprinkle it over the top. And it's going to make a nice little swirly pattern in there, and probably be active here shortly. Probably within an hour or two, we'll start seeing bubbling in the airlock. Millions and millions of little yeast cells going to turn into action and eat all that sugar. Put the lid on and grab the airlock. Now we're going to take the airlock without any water in it and stick it in the hole. Don't want to push too hard because you'll crack the plastic, and kind of twist and wiggle it in there. And then we're going to take the water and fill it to the full line. You want to do the honors? And there's a full line right around here somewhere. And slap the lid back on. This will allow the carbon dioxide to release and as the beer's fermenting, and not allow any oxygen in, which will sour your beer.